The metal flows like water, beautiful in its deception. Silver tears of salvation, they called it. The cure of kings and whores alike. You lift the spoon to your lips. The mercury is heavier than you expect. Dense, alien, wrong. But the alternative is worse. The sores spreading across your body, the shame eating you from within, the certain death that awaits the untreated. So you swallow. The metal slides down your throat like cold death. Within hours, your mouth will burn. Within days, your teeth will loosen. Within weeks, your mind will fracture. But the syphilis might retreat. Might. For 400 years, this was medicine's answer to the pox. Poison to cure poison. Death to forestall death. And the physicians who prescribed it, they knew. God help them. They knew exactly what they were doing. The devil's disease arrives. They say it began in Naples, the year of our Lord, 1495. French soldiers, returning from campaign, brought with them a new horror. The Italians called it the French disease. The French called it the Neapolitan sickness. Everyone pointed fingers while their flesh rotted from their bones. Ulrich von Hutten, German knight and scholar, described his own infection in 1519. Boils that stood out like acorns, from whence issued such filthy stinking matter that whosoever came within the scent believed himself infected. The symptoms progressed like chapters in a horror tale. First, the chancre, a single, painless sore that healed on its own, lulling victims into false hope. Then came the rash, covering the body in copper-coloured patches. Finally, the tertiary stage, tumours eating through tissue, bones crumbling like chalk, madness claiming the mind. Without treatment, death was certain. With treatment? Well, that depended on which death you preferred. The birth of quicksilver medicine. Enter the alchemists. If syphilis was supernatural punishment, perhaps it required supernatural cure. Paracelsus declared in 1530, "What makes a man ill also cures him." And against the pox? Mercury, the liquid metal that seemed alive, that the ancients named for the messenger god himself. The logic seemed sound to Renaissance minds. Mercury caused salivation, the body purging itself. It attacked the disease with violence equal to the disease itself. Most importantly, it sometimes worked. The sores retreated. The symptoms abated. That the cure might be killing them faster than the disease? A problem for another day. The treatments of torment. The methods of mercury administration read like an inquisitor's manual. Inunction. Mercury mixed with pig's grease, rubbed into the skin. Patients sat naked by roaring fires, while attendants worked the poisonous salve into every inch of flesh. Giovanni da Vigo, papal physician, noted with satisfaction, "The patient will salivate extensively, sometimes expelling 2 pints of spittle in a day." Fumigation. Patients sat naked in a wooden box, only their heads exposed. Below them, cinnabar, mercury sulfide, burned on hot coals. They breathed poison while mercury vapor condensed on their skin. Calomel. Mercury chloride, taken orally. Sweet mercury, they called it. Physicians prescribed heroic doses, 30 grains a day. 1 grain contains enough mercury to poison a modern patient. They gave 30. The great pox and the holy sea. Even the church could not escape. Pope Julius II suffered from syphilis so severe he could not allow his foot to be kissed during Holy Week. His physician treated him with mercury fumigations in secret chambers beneath the Vatican. The church faced a terrible contradiction. Syphilis was God's punishment for sin. Yet princes of the church suffered alongside common prostitutes. Cardinal Francisco Delgado wrote in 1539, Mercury becomes God's instrument of purification, burning away sin along with flesh. Monastery infirmaries became mercury treatment centers. Monks dispensing liquid metal to rotting sinners watched their patients suffer torments drawn from Dante's imagination. The Sweet Death of Salvador. Consider Don Salvador de Mendoza, recorded in the archives of Seville's Hospital de las Bubas, 1547, 23 years old, nephew to the Bishop of Toledo. Dr. Luis Mercado prescribed the full course, 40 days of mercury inunction, 2 fumigations weekly, calomel pills thrice daily. Salvador's treatment diary survives. Day 3. The salivation has begun. I fill basins with spittle. Day 8. My teeth grow loose. The doctor says this is good. Day 15. I can no longer hold a pen steady. Day 22. Blood flows from my gums. My breath smells of the grave. Day 31. I see visions. My dead mother speaks to me. Salvador completed his treatment. The syphilis sores healed. 3 months later, he died of kidney failure, his body, unable to process the mercury that had saved him. The children's ward nowhere was Mercury's cruelty more evident than in treating congenital syphilis. The Hôtel-Dieu in Paris kept meticulous records. In 1562, they treated 39 infants with mercury rubs. 34 died within the year. Sister Marie Delacroix wrote, "The babes scream without cease once the quicksilver touches them. Their small bodies convulse. Some perish within hours, blessed release from torment." The standard treatment for infants? Mercury mixed with honey, rubbed on the gums. The sweetness masked the poison, ensuring the children swallowed their medicine. The madness of kings. Ivan the Terrible contracted syphilis in his 30s. His physician prescribed aggressive mercury treatments, fumigations, inunctions, and mercury dissolved in vodka. The Tsar's behavior descended into pure madness. He murdered his own son in a mercury-fueled rage. Modern analysis of Ivan's remains shows mercury levels 30 times higher than normal. He died screaming about demons only he could see, mercury poisoning's final gift. The salivation houses. By the 18th century, specialized institutions emerged. Salivation houses, where the mercurialized could drool in company. The Augsburg Salivation House operated for 3 centuries. Patients paid in advance, no refunds for those who died mid-cure. The house rules included: patients must produce no less than 1 pint of saliva daily or face extended treatment. Those who perish during treatment forfeit all possessions to the house. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe visited in 1775 and wrote, "Hell could scarce devise torments to exceed those willingly endured in these chambers." The dance of death mercury poisoning had its own terrible choreography. First came fine tremors, a quivering hand, a twitching eyelid. Then coarser movements, arms flailing, legs jerking, the whole body convulsing in grotesque parody of dance. Dr. Giovanni Targioni Tozzetti described a patient in 1770. He moves as if pulled by invisible strings. His limbs jerk without his will, yet his mind remains clear, a prisoner watching his body's rebellion. The reformers lament. Not all physicians worshipped at Mercury's altar. Dr. Thomas Dover spent decades fighting the Mercury establishment. In 1732, he published The Ancient Physician's Legacy, condemning mercury treatment. "We have made medicine a torture chamber. Mercury is murder by degree." The Royal College of Physicians expelled him. A century later, his warnings were proven right. Too late for the millions already in quicksilver graves. The discovery of deception. The beginning of the end came in 1838. Dr. Philippe Ricord of Paris proved what many suspected. Mercury didn't cure syphilis. It suppressed symptoms while the disease burrowed deeper. His experiments were elegantly cruel. He inoculated prisoners with syphilis, treated half with mercury, half without. Both groups progressed to tertiary syphilis at the same rate. The mercury group simply suffered more. The medical establishment reacted with fury. Mercury had been medicine's answer to syphilis for 350 years. Fortunes were built on quicksilver. To admit error was to admit centuries of murder. The last mercury martyr. Mercury treatment persisted into the 20th century. Private James Morrison of the Canadian Expeditionary Force contracted syphilis in 1917. His treatment diary survives. They give us the needle now, Salvacin, they call it. But supplies run short. For men like me, it's still mercury. Still the shakes and the spittle. Still the long dying. Morrison lived until 1962, his body a catalogue of mercury damage. His gravestone reads, "Veteran of 2 wars." He meant France and mercury. The reckoning. We know now what Renaissance physicians could not. Every grain of mercury was poison. It never cured syphilis. Never. Every apparent success was either misdiagnosis, spontaneous remission, or temporary suppression. Dr. Joseph Earl Moore calculated in 1941, if mercury treatment killed 1 in 10 patients and 20 million were treated over 4 centuries, then medicine murdered 2 million souls with quicksilver. 4 centuries, millions dead, incalculable suffering, all for nothing. Today, syphilis yields to simple antibiotics, a few pills. The great pox that terrorized humanity for half a millennium, defeated by medicine that actually heals. But mercury's ghost lingers. In our rush to cure, do we still poison? In our certainty, do we still err? Every age believes its medicine enlightened. Every age looks back in horror at what came before. What will future physicians say of us? What obvious poisons do we prescribe with confidence? What suffering do we inflict in ignorance? The mercury bottle sits in its museum case, beautiful still in its silver deception. A reminder that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, measured in grains of quicksilver. The cure that killed, the healing that harmed, the medicine that was murder. Mercury rises, mercury falls, but the lesson remains, heavy as liquid metal. First, do no harm. If only they had listened. If only we would